I'm Natalie, and I studied abroad in Buenos Aires, Argentina through the Argentine Universities program, and I was also part of the Literature Concentration. I hope you enjoy my video. My favorite part about the program was definitely my interaction with the staff. They were always there and so helpful and kind, giving advice with regard to every aspect of the program. So not only did they assist with formal things such as class registration and coordinating our homestay experiences, but they also set up fun events like going to a rugby game, taking a trip to Uruguay, kayaking through a river delta. They were always there for support and fun, and overall made the program so much smoother and more enjoyable. In terms of preparing me for the future, first and foremost, my Spanish language skills improved so much while I was abroad. I now really do feel comfortable marketing myself as someone who's fluent in Spanish, both writing and speaking. And in addition to this language element, I also gained a much more heightened global awareness, making me generally a more thoughtful member of society. And I think that this is a skill that's relevant in both a professional and personal setting. I'm now more conscious of cultural relativism among peers and strangers alike. For me, the best part of the literature concentration was definitely the small, intimate class sizes. Because we were a specialized group, I only had 2 other students in most of my classes, so I really got to know them, got to take full advantage of the professor's knowledge, and was able to engage very closely with the material we were working with. In the company of these other students who had the same specific interests that I do. And having such a tight group allowed us to really become a team, and it was just another community to have while I was abroad. In this literature concentration, I took a class called Literature in Argentina, which was a course that focused on all the major Argentine writers. I also took a methodology course, which centered around different approaches to literature and meta-literature. I took a general Spanish class where we reviewed advanced topics in the Spanish language as well as read about Argentine culture. And then I also took one class called Education in Childhood Care that was actually at the public university, which focused on education systems both in Argentina and around the world through an anthropological lens. So I really had a bunch of diverse classes while I was abroad, and I could really engage with the culture and the people in many different ways. While I was in Argentina, I did an internship at a publishing house called Leia that published children's books. And while I was working there, I translated a children's book about the Industrial Revolution, meanwhile getting to know the other workers. And spending this time in a professional environment in another country really allowed me to observe the more laid-back work style that contrasted the fast-paced, super serious environment that I'm used to in the States. And another fun aspect of interning there was that while working there, the annual book festival took place in the city at which this company had a booth. So I also got to be involved with this huge international book festival. I spent most of my time outside of the classroom exploring the city as well as traveling to other provinces within the country. And this served kind of as a cultural study, getting to see how all aspects of life came together in different settings like cafes or malls and parks. Additionally, I went to see Argentine-made films and indulge in the cuisine, and these basic activities kind of took on a whole new significance as they offered insight into a whole different world. And to complement my everyday observations, I also spent a considerable amount of time visiting museums around the country and thus learning how the history and more formalized elements of the culture were also prevalent in everyday life. Most notably, taking class at the local university gave me many young Argentine friends. So not only did I engage with them during class discussions, but also I would sometimes hang out with them outside of class, and they would always bring me to cool local restaurants and bars or tell me about the under-the-radar shows and events. And on top of this, I would also strike up conversations with locals that I didn't know in cafes or even on the public bus. And people in the city were always very excited to talk, and I always left those interactions with a whole new knowledge or set of information about culture and the country. almost 50% inflation overnight. And this was for me very unlike the economic stability that I'm used to in the States. If watching this taught me anything, it's that Argentine people are super resilient. Most people reacted to this drastic change through public protests and demonstrations, being really proud to defend themselves and fight for the improvement of their country. And it made me proud to watch how people handled such a difficult situation with enthusiasm and grace. Thanks for watching!